What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's always a great pleasure. You know what to do? Your first time, my name is Zack. I'm sure we're going to love each other. Definitely. So we're going to click the button, subscribe, so we can see each other very much often. Okay, so I got a question for you. You're part of a big group. And in the big group, there's you and one of your friends. You feel excluded. Whenever everybody seems to talk about a subject, a positive subject, a trip or a party that you would like to organize, they seem to be excluding you. You don't feel included. They don't ask you for questions. They don't ask you how you feel about it. They just put you into a situation that you don't quite understand. They say, okay, so we sat down, we had a discussion. We all decided that we're traveling to whichever place that is. If you want to come, you can come. If you can't come, then, well, we understand. They don't give you a choice. They don't give you an opportunity to be involved in the choice making. How do you feel about it? You're part of a group, and in that group, everybody seems to be talking in their own language, or everybody's going to the side and having a discussion where when you try to come next to everybody, you feel like everybody stays quiet. How do you feel? Is this really a group you belong to, or you probably don't belong from that group? What is your answer to that? Of course, you feel like you don't belong. I feel like naturally when human beings feel like they're being excluded, they actually exclude themselves properly, right? You go into a class, your colleagues, whoever, you have a discussion, you feel like they're talking about something they don't want you to hear. What do you do next? You don't go to them anymore. You find other places to go, right? You go to an organization, you feel like, while everybody's talking, or at work, for instance, while everybody's talking during pauses, whenever you come close, they stay quiet. What do? You pull yourself away. You start doing your own thing. And you try to find perhaps people that are similar to you so you can start talking to each other because you feel like you're being excluded, right? That's a natural thing. So the inevitable has happened. Okay, Burkina Faso and Niger have exited from G5 Sahel. Congratulations. I know many of us don't know what G5 Sahel is. G5 Sahel is a joint force set up by Chad, Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. It was driven to a creation to fight terrorism. G5 Sahel was set up by Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Mauritania. They created a cooperation framework to improve security and development in this vast semi-desert region where jihadist groups have tried 6 years in a row. So G5 Sahel, is, from what you understand, it's few countries coming together saying, you know what, we feel like there's a lot of terrorism happening in this side of Africa, in Sahel region. Here is the Sahel region. The countries are Chad, Mauritania, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. They came together with the help of France, obviously, to have a discussion on how to create a force, a joint force, so they can fight terrorism. Okay? Now, unfortunately, because these three countries decided not to be playing the game of France, meaning not to be subjugated by France anymore, meaning working actually for the people of them countries, meaning prioritizing the interests of their people, they have been put aside, set aside by all African nations. Now, they said, you know what? Since you guys don't like us because we've decided to do our own things for our own people, we are pulling away from G5 Sahel. Okay? G5 Sahel was supposed to be a force to combat jihadist, terrorists in the area. But it failed completely. Okay? It failed completely. Obviously, France said they were going to send equipment. I'm going to help you with this project that you got. I'm going to send you cars and equipment. But yeah, this baby G Sahel could never even stand on its own feet, unfortunately. Now, because they feel like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are being persecuted, pushed to the side by other African nations, they say, you know what? We're not going to be part of G Sahel anymore. Bye-bye. We're going to create something on our own. I spoke to you the other day about what they did. They came into communication. The three countries that are being rebellious toward France came together to discuss. You know what? Maybe we need to create our own money, since the money we use up until now is a money that is printed in France. So France still holds power over us if they print our money. Yes, if you don't know, it's called the CFA franc. The CFA franc is the money that's used by French colonies in Africa. Yeah, so the countries that were colonized by France were freed in the 1960s. Even though they were freed in 1960s, they were using money, or still, many of them are still using, it's called the CFA franc. Now, this currency is printed in France. The CFA franc is not printed in Côte d'Ivoire, Senegal, all these countries. No, it's printed in France. And this money and only hold values in African nations. You cannot use it in France. It has no value. Yeah. And then you talk about you are being freed. You're not colonized. Do you believe that? So you guys are not colonized. You jump onto the streets, you all that stuff. But in the meantime, you're using somebody else's currency. And that currency is keeping France powerful and rich. Yeah, of course, if you're using a currency that is being printed in France and you have to pay a tax every year out of all the benefits you make. Yes. These African countries colonized by the France, these African countries that speak French, most of them, except from Congo Democratic, DRC was not colonized by French. All these other countries pay like a levy, yearly tax to France in a way to say, thank you for teaching us how to speak French. Yes, they do that. Now, these three countries have said, oh, you're not going to be part of this anymore. Now, the question is this. They're out of G5 Sahel. What's next now? Are they going to be out of the African Union? So they left G5 Sahel. Now, G5 Sahel, if Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are out, the only countries that are remaining in G5 Sahel is Mauritania and Chad. In fact, Mali left earlier. Burkina Faso and Niger just followed suit. And because obviously, if you are friends, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and Mali decide to leave, why would you stay? Why would you stay in an organization that deemed Mali as inadequate because Mali took power by force and you are friends with Mali? So the enemy of my friend is my enemy. That's just how it happened. Again, fellas, like I said to you before, brotherhood is not about having the same skin color. No, it's not. Brotherhood, it's not about talks, oh, we are Africans and stuff. It's not about that. Brotherhood is something that you show with proofs. Okay? It's palpable proofs. You show me brotherhood in a way that you treat me, in a way that you support me in my fight. You show me real brotherhood when things are bad on my side. When I'm in jail, when I'm arrested wrongly or something, put in jail for the wrong reason, and you still come to see me at the difficult time. That is brotherhood. Brotherhood is not, oh, that's my brother, we're from the same tribe. No, that's a matter. That's my brother, we have the same passport. No, he's not your brother. Brotherhood is, I want you good. I want you to go forward. I want you to move and be great. That is brotherhood. Brotherhood is when my children have no food and I'm not available. You go to my house and you feed those kids. If you cannot feed those kids every day, at least you come up once a month. Come check them out. Are you okay? Did you have tea this morning? That is brotherhood. You can't be claiming to be somebody's brother from a distance. The proof is in the pudding. Many African nations stood against Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. They wanted to topple the president in Niger, the new president, because they were not happy with him. Even though Niger is only fighting for its freedom, other African countries are ready to fight them. And my question is this: how many times have you seen a European country fight another European country for the interest of an external country? How many times have you seen a European country angry at another European country for the interest of a foreign nation? You never see that. Only Africans do that. So now the fear is, are they going to move out of the African Union? Because the African Union has been nothing but negative toward them. These three countries, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, have decided to work together economically. And very soon you're going to hear about a brand new currency because they're not going to be using CFA franc anymore. So I'm thinking they're just strategizing right now on how they're going to be doing the transfer smoothly. Are they going to shift smoothly from the currency they're using, which is the CFA franc, to a brand new currency that's going to be free of all those loads and all those charges? In the meantime, Nigeria still asks Niger to free the ex-president, Mohamed Bazoum. Mohamed Bazoum was a president of Niger. He was toppled, for context, toppled by the people of Niger because Bazoum was working for the interest of foreign nations instead of working for the people of Niger. Niger is still one of the poorest countries in the world while producing some of the best uranium in the world. Makes absolute no sense. Now, the president, even though he was toppled, he was not hurt or armed, but he was kept on house arrest Why would he kept on house arrest? He refused to sign his resignation letter saying, I'm no longer president of Niger. Yes, he refused to do that. And because now, if you refuse to do that legally, you still are the president. And that could create mayhem in terms of international relations. So they kept him on house arrest until he signed that piece of paper. And this guy doesn't want to sign. It's crazy how much these people love power. You love power so much, you refuse to sign the resignation letter, but you're still crying, oh, they're making me suffer, oh, they're treating me bad. Sign the paper for the people of Niger. I mean, they've celebrated. It's not like they're suffering of your absence. They were in the stadium in thousands and hundreds of thousands praising the new government, but you still don't want to sign the... I find that absolutely crazy. Let me know how you feel about this, fellas. Always a great pleasure. Burkina Faso and Niger and Mali coming out of G5 Sahel, they out of that organization. They don't want to be part of this anymore because there's no use for me to be part of your group if you keep pushing me aside. You keep treating me like I'm nonsense. You keep showing me that I don't mean anything because I have different views, different goals in life. You want to stay slave. I don't want to stay slave. Okay, so we cannot work together. So we're going to fight terrorism on our side. We don't have to associate with you. You fight your own terrorists on your side, in your country. We're going to do our own. Thank you very much. Always a great pleasure. I want to read from you. Is this a good move for Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali to challenge France at this level, to start their own organization? Is this a threat to the African Union and ECOWAS? Because clearly they are useless. If these three countries can finish issues like they finished in Kidal, they destroyed terrorism in Kidal in such a short term, what does that tell you about ECOWAS? And what does that tell you about the African Union? God bless.